the new Republic E-Wing with KE4N4. And I know this isn't a Micro Galaxy Squadron, I know, but I do like the Star Wars vehicles. That is why I collect them. I try to grab as many of the vintage collection as I can, as long as they are reasonably priced. Now, this was $100, which was amazing. It was a nice, refreshing price. You know, they did do the N1 at a good price also. I think that was 125 or 130 bucks, but $99. I snagged this on Hasbro Pulse, came out to like 108 after tax, which I thought was great. Shop Disney was also selling this, and then when it dropped, they had a coupon going on, so you might have been able to get this at a cheaper price. But unfortunately, at least right now anyways, it is sold out on both Hasbro and Shop Disney. Traditionally, I like to unbox this on the table with a little bit of ASMR action for y'all, but since it does come with a carded figure, I kind of want to open it up on camera, like with my, I guess, reaction. Do people still do reactions? But usually my rule of thumb is if the card is bent or destroyed, I'll usually open it, but otherwise I like to try to keep it sealed. Here's what the inside looks like, and you can see that little card right there. Let's see what they gave us. Oh, it looks pretty clean. All right, so here's all the different pieces, the wings. Pretty simple build. It shouldn't be anything too complex, just snapping some stuff into place. And here's how our little boy is resting on in there. Get you a little bit closer. Okay, almost dropped there. Okay. Oh man, I think this is a pretty minty card right there. Look at that. Unpunched, beautiful greatness. The bubble itself doesn't seem like it has any scratches on it. Looks nice and clean. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this. Almost forgot these two pieces right here. Oh, okay. So yeah, the Slave one was a little expensive for being like its third release. You know, they've released it so many different times. So going to a $100 price point is very refreshing, especially knowing that it includes a figure. I mean, that's a big bonus. So definitely more of that. Hopefully we get some clone gunships here in the future, because they definitely need to re-release those. This E-Wing is definitely a beaut. Now, when I'm talking about the vintage collection, I'm going to be making a lot of comparisons to Micro Galaxy Squadron, because that is the next brand that actually pays a lot of attention to details, weathering, and things of that matter. I mean, obviously, they're two completely different scales, but when talking about this, I'm going to be referencing a lot of Micro Galaxy Squadron, since they do a lot of high-quality ships. So let's just jump right into this. Sculpting looks pretty good so far. Nothing looks too out of the ordinary. Something that I am noticing is that there's not really a whole lot of weathering to this thing. Like, there's no black wash really at all. I mean, I think here at the back of the engines, we got some details going on, but other than that, I mean, there isn't really any weathering going on with this thing, and that's something that I'd like to see. I mean, obviously, that is such an easy fix. I mean, just a simple black wash can do a lot of wonders, but you know, I'm not really seeing anything going on to that nature. But I guess, you know, I am seeing some carbon buildup here at that, like, turrets. But other than that, I mean, it's a pretty blank canvas. So here's a better look at this thing. So there is some wires and components and things that are exposed. But mostly, this is a flat panel looking ship. And I had to go back and just look at the live action screenshots to make sure they didn't really miss anything. And this is roughly how it looks. It's pretty screen accurate, I must say. To the back of the ship, there is even more of that sculpting going on. This is probably one of the most heavily sculpted areas to this. You can see there's like some venting and stuff going on underneath right there. And then to the right side of the wing, it continues throughout, and there's more of that carbon buildup to that engine right there. That's pretty cool. Now, top of the ship has more of that going on. You can see all that sculpted area. There's a little port for our droid to sit in. Now, the cockpit itself, it almost looks like there's no glass to it whatsoever. I mean, it's just straight, clear plastic, but there is definitely something going on over there. I would have liked to have seen maybe like more of a smoked look to it. And then to actually open this thing up, you slide it forward, okay, and then you can close it by just pushing it backwards. It doesn't open up like a hinge joint. It just is a slide, push-pull type of thing. Now, I do want to point your attention to the inside of the cockpit. This is where this vehicle is really going to shine, because they're able to get more of that defined sculpting on the inside, all the little buttons and wires. You can see like right here on that armrest on the right-hand side, all the buttons right there. We have the control lever, which is awesome to see, and then also the monitor in the very front with all those buttons and knobs as as well. So that's really cool. Stuff that I like to see within this big scale of a ship. I would be super bummed if it was just like flat plastic and like no real sculpting to it whatsoever. Now while we're up here, here is another look at that cockpit sliding forward and backwards. You can see the rails right there, but where the droid sits, there's a little hatch right here. This opens up. There is some sculpting to the underside of this. Nothing too crazy, no real over-the-top weathering, but you can see there is some space right here to put some, you know, tools, components, or maybe just another droid laying flat. But this actually opens up, and now you can fit not only your TVC droid in there, but I was able to put the Kenner droid in there. And you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a little conflicted. I don't think I'm gonna open that card. I'll show you how beautiful it is later, but I do have this little retro Kenner R2-D2 that I found at a thrift store like a few years ago. But we're gonna put this baby in there, and I know this is gonna fit no problem. And this like hatch has a lip right there. You just put it to the back, and it should click into place like so. So unfortunately, he is a little short for that area. Needs a booster seat for sure. But I mean, hey, it's a Kenner figure. You know, they were a lot smaller back then and nowhere near the size of our TVC figures. But just to do it anyways and show you how he looks in there, you know, let's put in one of my personal favorites, R2B1, one of our fallen heroes from the Phantom Menace, and already he looks a lot better in there. Much more head clearance. Appreciate your service on that Royal Starship, and voila. Yeah, he already looks a lot better inside of this. So a more up-to-date droid. I know he's kind of an older one, but a more modern-sized droid is going to fit in there much better than our Kenner figures. And you know, while I'm filming this, I realized I don't have a lot of TVC droids. I mean, I think the last one that I really have is Antok Merrick's droid. What is that? R2SHW. I'll post a photo. But I didn't even open that figure because he showed up super minty from Entertainment Earth, and so I just couldn't bring myself to open it up. But now that I'm filming this, I need to definitely pick up some more droids. Now, I am noticing this like gap right here, and I don't remember if that was that prominent without the droid in there. So you know what, let's actually take him out and see. Yeah, I don't remember if it was really there or not. And okay, well, yeah, there's still a little bit of a gap. Push it down all the way. Doesn't look like it goes down much more, clicks more into place. So yeah, it looks like that little gap is still definitely there. So that actually makes me feel a little bit better that I didn't need a specific droid. But regardless, I still need to pick up some more TVC droids to make this thing look complete. So I'm going to put R2B1 back in there because I like the way he looks. Now, I don't have a pilot, and I don't think really anybody has a pilot for this just yet. I mean, they did announce the pipeline reveal of Lieutenant Callahan, and honestly, I would have probably put Antok Merrick in there, but like my trend goes, I'm not going to open up. So I think I'm just going to put this bloke in there and see how he looks, because it'll be roughly the same thing. Now, one of the reasons why we love the vintage collection so much is just how cohesive it is with the rest of the sets and the vehicles within the line. I mean, you can mix and match so much different stuff, just like you can with this. Let's see if his hat, yeah, his little helmet gets in the way, so let's take, oh no! Let's take, not his head off, but let's take his helmet off real quick. All right, let's try that again. So that is how a rebel trooper, a little rebel fleet trooper would look on the inside. And that is such a great thing about this vintage collection, is how much you can mix and match. All right, let's try that again. So that is how a rebel trooper, a little rebel fleet trooper would look on the inside. And that is such a great thing about this vintage collection, is how much you can mix and match. Now, I guess the last area to really talk about is going to be the landing gear here. So 3 points of landing gear, they all fold into the ship itself, and there's covering, so it will be nice and flush if you want to like hang it from your ceiling or something like that. Now, these do pop back open pretty easily. I did notice that this front landing gear does have a tendency to like want to pop right back into place, but I'll show you that here in just a second. So take these out, and they do click into place when they're fully extended. So this front landing gear tends to want to like go forward like that. So I don't know if I just got a looser one, but I do wish it was a little bit more snug when it did click into place. But all in all, the landing gear is there. It's present. If you want to display it in your collection like so, then you can. Let's do some measurements. So let's see here, from front of the ship to back. It looks like it is about 18 inches or so. And then as far as wingspan goes, I would say you're at about 16 inches. Even though I'm not going to open this card, I still got to give you a close-up of the beautiful artwork as well as the figure inside the bubble. Again, this is a very minty card that I received. If it was damaged, bent, or destroyed in like any manner, then I would most likely open it up on the channel. And since it is crisp and clean, I want to keep it sealed. I don't really grade figures too much. I mean, this would be, I guess, a good 1-2 grade, but I haven't really found the appeal to do a bunch of that. I just like to keep them displayed in the artwork and the bubble. I think it looks really nice. Per usual, from the Vintage Collection, an unpunched card, KE4 N4 logoing, as well as some live action stills from the show. Looks great. And then as far as the figure goes, a beautiful representation, looking nice and clean. You can see that this bubble also looks nice and minty. I don't see a lot of scuffs or scratches to that, so that's actually a big bonus. Back of the card has our traditional description of our figure. We have a nice illustration of the droid and then Star Wars Vintage Collection, as well as some legal mumbo jumbo. The New Republic E-Wing, this is from the Vintage Collection and Hasbro. Price point was $100, which I thought was pretty good for this. I mean, you're getting not only the figure, but you're getting the vehicle itself. And the vehicle looks really good, despite having a lack of weathering. I mean, there's really no weathering going on whatsoever to this entire thing. It's pretty much a blank canvas. For that price point, I would have liked to have seen at least something applied to it, but at the end of the day, we could always put a black wash if you wanted to later. I do love that we're getting KE4 N4. I mean, this is a great little figure. And if you're a collector of, you know, cards unpunched, then you definitely got to add this to the collection. I don't think we're ever going to get that figure again, aside from just this set. Now, as I'm filming this, it is sold out on Hasbro as well as Shop Disney. So I'm not too familiar if they're going to restock this thing or not. You know, I know they did with the N1. It's been popping in and out of stock on Amazon and I believe Hasbro. But I mean, that is also The Mandalorian, whereas this is from the Ahsoka show, which is said and done. And you know, who knows if they're actually going to re-release this vehicle. So if it does pop back in stock, then I would definitely pick it up. I think it's a great vehicle to add to the collection. But that's all I got for you. I really hope you enjoyed this unboxing and review of the New Republic E-Wing from the Vintage Collection. If you did enjoy this unboxing and review, be sure to like and subscribe. It does help out the channel. Lets me know that I'm doing a good job. Make sure you connect with me on Instagram and TikTok to stay up to date when new things drop, like the rest of our Vintage Collection figures. I also post toy photography and toy videos. Until then, collectors, I'll see y'all in the next video.